All right, it's about 3:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me switch over here so you guys, and by me switching windows. My name is LaShaka Wesley Hosier. I teach at South Garland High School. I teach economics and government to seniors, mostly seniors. I have a couple of juniors. Here at South Garland High School, I am out in a portable, so my technology isn't amazing, but I do have a projector that has AirServe capabilities, so I can do things from my iPad and project directly from my computer. Of course, I've got the Chromebook for being an i3, and then the iPad, which I use as often as I can and do all of the things with. So today our webinar is about Wiser Me. So if you haven't heard of Wiser Me or used Wiser Me, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. I think my kids really enjoy it as well. It allows them the capability to answer questions and not just do boring worksheets after boring worksheet after boring worksheet. If you look at the website, it's going to say, amaze your students with smarter worksheets. It's not necessarily a worksheet. They do them on the iPad, so I guess technically it's a digital worksheet, but it's so much more than just a regular worksheet. You can match, you can sort, and we'll get to all of that later so you can see all of the amazing features that it has. But the website itself is pretty user-friendly and intuitive, I guess. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out. And even the kids haven't had any problems figuring it out. As far as aligning with ISTE standards, it actually lines up with two. It's going to be the empowered learner, so using technology and tools to reflect on learning, personalizing their learning environment, and applying feedback, because you'll see later, teachers can go in and do feedback specifically for each child, so the kid knows exactly what they need to work on based on your input. And then the innovative designer, so once you have the paid feature, your students can create Wiser activities that they can then share with you, that you can send out to their classmates, or they can create them for each other, which is really cool to get to see them use their creative ability within your content area. So it allows them to generate questions, identify problems, planning, which I don't think they get to do very often. And I think they also take for granted how hard we as teachers plan in order to create things for them. And then it's also going to, of course, refine and develop their innovative skills, because anytime you're creating things as a student or even as a teacher, you're learning as you go. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see what it looks like. We're just going to jump right in. Okay, so let me maximize this. All right, so when you look at the Wiser Me login page, if you just go to wizer.me, so it's Wiser Me with a Z, okay, it'll take you to something like this. It'll say create a worksheet, explore, about, pricing, log in, and join. I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in. But if this is your very first time doing this, you're going to click on the join button, and it has a one-touch with Google, which is awesome. So it's really fast to sign on to. So scrolling down on the homepage here, you can see just some examples of what the capability is for this platform or this website. And then you can see some teacher testimonials if you click through. So it'll tell you kind of what they do, where they are, and it's all over the world. You saw that last one there was from Australia in Sydney. So it's really an awesome thing. So once you've created your account, so for you, brand new, you're going to click on the join. Anytime Wiser is thinking, you'll see this little yellow light bulb here. So if you tell it you're new, you would click on I'm a teacher, and it would take you to sign up with Google as a teacher. And again, you're just going to click on this sign up Google button. Super, super simple. Since I already have an account, I'm just going to click log in because I don't want it to freak out and create two different accounts. So log in, same deal, yellow light bulb. I'm going to connect with Google. If you don't and you try and sign in without it, it's going to tell you, hey, this is a Google account, sign in with Google anyway. So you may as well do it. So make sure you click on your account so it can save all of your worksheets that you create. All right, so this is kind of your dashboard, as they call it. This is where you are going to see everything that you've created. It's how you create a new worksheet. It's got all of your worksheets saved, so you can create folders and organize them any way you see fit. It's got your account settings and then your actual profile information. So when you click on dashboard, the little profile information there, it's going to take you here so I can see any public worksheets that I have, any worksheets that have been liked by the community. And if I click on my picture, if you would like, which again, if you're doing this with your students, it would allow them to see one of you. And then if you click on dashboard, it takes you right back to where we were. So if you scroll down in your dashboard, once you've created worksheets, you'll be able to see all of the worksheets you've created and go back and assign them to different things. So this judicial branch web quest is one that I created yesterday that my students are going to do Friday. So I'll show you how to edit that in just a second. Again, it will show you everything that you have created based on what you have named it. If you find one that you like, because Wiser has its own community. So if you click on the Wiser community, you can search for Wisers that are already done based on your content area. So they've got a plethora of topics over here. So since I'm social studies, I'll just pick social studies. And it's going to search. Now you can tell it to search by a specific grade, or you can type in a specific topic if there's something you want to find immediately. Over here on the side, after I clicked social studies, it brought up different subjects. So I'm going to do, oh, this one looks fun. Okay, so I'm going to click on world geography and physical features. So when it loads, it allows me to see what a student would see as they log in, and it's going to immediately direct you to copy this worksheet. So I didn't create this, someone named Taylor did. If I would like to use this worksheet in my classroom, I would just need to click copy worksheet up here at the top. Once you do that, it'll say it has been added to your worksheets, and then you can leave a comment for that other person so they can see. Okay. So if I go back to worksheets now, this again is your folder of your created worksheets. It will have the new worksheet that I just copied. So I can go in and edit it and change it and say, you know, maybe I don't like this background. Maybe there's something else I want to change. So there it is, the copy of world geography and physical features. So anytime you need to get to the community, you can click community up here at the top, or you can go over here to this quick serve button on the side with these little people and click community, and it's going to take you to the exact same place. So whatever works for you. If you have the paid version of Wiser, your students to create worksheets. So that's what this learner worksheets is about. So right now, I don't have the paid version. I just have the light version. We are in working capacity to get the paid version. It's already been approved. Hopefully the purchase order will go through quickly and soon so I can do super awesome things. But once I get that, okay, and my learners create their own worksheets, they would pop up here in the learner worksheets area. So if you go back to my worksheets, you'll see, again, all of the things that you've created. So we're going to go ahead and create a worksheet so you can see what happens when you do that. You can either click on the create worksheet button here, or down here in the bottom with all of your worksheets, you can click on the create worksheet here. Again, same thing. So once you click on the create worksheet button, it's going to take its time loading. Over here on the side, you'll see where it says select design. So Wiser has a pretty wide range of designs for your worksheet, and within each category are different designs. So for government, I always normally pick the 4th of July just because it's all red, white, and blue. So then you can see they have 4 cover images within this category for the 4th of July. So whenever you click one, it's going to change the entire appearance of your worksheet. So I just clicked on the chevron here with the blue. It gives you a spot to do your title, and then it automatically changes this background color and applies a font. So if I didn't like this, I can change it again. Even after you've entered all of your information, you can change the background and the themes without affecting the information that you've put in. So let's go leave because I don't want, we haven't done anything to save, right? So let's say I decide I didn't want that. Again, you can change it, no worries. I clicked on create again, so hopefully it'll take me back pretty quickly. So let's say, based on the weather today, that I would like a little sunshine in my life instead of this rainy winter. Okay, so I'm going to click on the sunshine pattern. Again, it gives me some pretty neat ones. I'm going to go with the flip-flops here because who doesn't love flip-flops in summer? So now we can add a task. So once you've picked a theme and you can change the color of the font, so I can change it to orange or green. We're just going to call this test worksheet. And it gives you the option to change the font. And they have quite a few fonts. So I always try and use something that I know the kids will be able to read, something that's a lot less kind of squiggly and swirly for them. So I really like Sniglet. It looks almost as if a kindergarten teacher wrote it. So it's pretty easy to read even for the kids who may not know English or struggling or ELLs. Okay, so once you've picked all of your aesthetic things, again, you can change these anytime. It's not going to hurt anything. It gives you the option to add a task. So this is where you get to see all of the awesome features that Wiser offers and the different tasks that you can include within your digital worksheet, quote unquote. So you can do an open question, multiple choice, a fill in the blank, fill in on an image, which allows you to upload a picture and then create points for the children to label. You can do matching, you can create a table, you can sort, they can draw, you can just have a text box, you can upload an image, a video directly from YouTube, you can do a link, which I did for my web quest, you can embed things, and one thing I found out last night while I was playing with it, you can actually embed Nearpods in Wiser, which is amazing. So if you're doing a student-paced Nearpod, that will allow the students to click through the Nearpod and answer your questions all at the same time. And then you can also facilitate a discussion. Now, one thing that they've started doing down at the bottom here where it says vote for the feature you want most, one of these features is going to come soon. I personally like the graphic organizers, but you can vote for any feature. And right now the voting is unlimited. Every time I open a new worksheet or create a new worksheet or open one of my old worksheets, it lets me vote. And every time I vote for graphic organizers, and I absolutely love it because it always says, thanks, you're a peach, which is fantastic. Okay, so I will tell you right now, it does not auto save, does not auto save. So up here in the corner, you see this save button. Click it often like it's your best friend. The site doesn't crash, but I have been victim to working. All right, I'm good to go. And then I just kind of click out of it. It does remind you like, hey, are you sure you want to go? Make sure you save, but just get in the habit of saving it until they make this auto save feature something that is just kind of built in. All right, so let's add a task. Okay, so we're going to do an open question first so you guys can see what that will look like. Now, It says enter the question. So we'll just do a random question today. What was the weather like today? Okay, so that's the question the kids are seeing. Now, up here is your format bar. You can go in and you can make it bold, italic, underline. You can change the font size. So if you want it super big, you can make it super big. Okay. You can change the font color. So if it's a question that I have kind of paired with a whole bunch of text, I normally change the question color so the students can see the question a little bit more easily. It kind of points out to them. And I always go with purple because purple is my favorite. It's not going to change the color on your screen, but when you go to review, you'll see that your question is actually whatever color you've chosen. You can add an emoticon. You can insert an image, a link, special characters if you're doing this for math, subscripts, superscripts, and then there's always the undo button if you don't like it. Okay, then it allows you to put in the instructions. So I can instruct the students to please answer the question in complete sentences. If I could learn to spell. Okay, so it also gives you the option to record instructions. Now, I'm not going to do it now because you guys can hear me and I don't know what will happen if I click on it. But if you have a kid who is struggling to read and you know that they're not necessarily going to get all of the text that you have there in the instructions, you can record your voice as the instructions and it will give the kids a little icon to play the instructions. So it makes it a lot easier for the students who may have a lower reading level. It allows you to change the answer size. So since this is an open-ended question, if I wanted the children to type an entire paragraph, okay, I could do 8 lines. If I wanted something shorter, maybe 2 to 3 sentences, I could do 4 lines. And then if I just want a single sentence, I can click on 1 line. So since we're going to add a couple of other tasks, I'm going to leave it as 1 line. But when the students answer the question, they can type in text, they can take a picture, or they can record their answer. So if you have a kid who's got a broken hand, a broken arm, can't type, that doesn't excuse them from this. They can still record their answer the same way you recorded your instructions. Now, on the paid version, this button here, this differentiate instruction, becomes clickable. So you see when I clicked it, it just says, hey, you need to upgrade. Okay. But once you have that, you can differentiate your instructions. So if I wanted to separate my kids into groups, I could say, hey, frogs, you need to use 2 to 3 vocabulary words within your sentence. Penguins use this. I always do animals or colors so the kids don't know what level the group is, so they don't get kind of self-conscious about being in a certain group. Plus, it's just funny for me to say, okay, I need all my frogs over here with me. The kids seem to get a kick out of it anyway. So up here, again, this alternate question is another differentiation feature. So with the paid version, it allows you to go through and differentiate. So if you click on that, it's going to bring up their help guide, and it tells you how to differentiate your questions, and it also gives learner choice. So what I could do here is, if I know I've got a lot of ELL students, I can create an open question. What was the weather like today using English? And then my alternative question could be the same question, but just in Spanish. So if the kids don't necessarily feel comfortable answering that question in English, they're more than welcome to answer that question or pick an alternative question that would be in Spanish for them. Or if you're doing math and you're trying to teach them a specific way to solve a problem, you know, there's always more than one way to get the answer, or maybe that one problem looked too hard or they can't figure it out. You can give them alternative questions. Excuse me. So when you are finished with all of your formatting for this individual question, you're going to click done. So then it shows you kind of what the kids are going to see. So what was the weather like today? Green. I can change it to pink, yellow, orange, blue, whatever I want to do. Okay, I'm going to leave it as this pink because I think that's really pretty with the green background. All right, so we've got one thing entered, okay, and that's just an open question. So if we click on multiple choice, it's exactly how it sounds, okay? It's going to open up this question editor again. So you're going to type the question up here. You can again record your instructions. And then you can enter answer choices. You can do as many as you would like. It's going to default to 3. Once you've entered your answers, it's going to request that you pick a correct answer. So you see, I did that by just clicking the correct letter, and now there's this check mark there. So that means that is the correct answer, and that's how Wiser is going to grade it. Because if you do anything that is not an open question, Wiser will actually grade them for you, which I'll show you later when we get to samples and what they look like. So I've picked this is my correct answer. And again, you're just going to format, do whatever you want. If you want your questions in columns, you can switch it that way, and it will do your answers kind of stacked as opposed to putting them in a row this way. It's up to you, whatever you like, you do you. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of that because I don't necessarily have anything to add. Fill in the blank, again, is exactly what it sounds like. So just write your instructions at the top. Then down here at the bottom, you're going to enter your text. So the weather was rainy. Once I know which word I want to blank, you're just going to highlight it and click blanket. So now it's italicized and underlined, meaning that's going to be a word that the students are going to have to fill in. Now, it does give you options. You can do a text word bank, which means all of the words that you have decided to blank out will appear at the bottom of this section, and the kids will be able to see the words. As they type their words in the fill in the blank, it's actually going to strike out the words so they don't use the same word twice. If you do a click word bank for that fill in the blank, once you click on the line, it will actually bring up choices for you to put the words in there. So again, if you wanted to differentiate, that would be an awesome way. Higher level students, nothing. Medium level, word bank. Lower level, give them the words to choose from. Okay, so cancel that out because you guys get the picture. Okay, filling on an image is awesome, and I think it's great for science as well as social studies. So it's going to direct you to upload an image. Yeah, we can do that. I was trying to think if I have any pictures saved in my drive. I think so, in my Wiser Me graphics. Okay, cool. So I have political cartoons saved because I was teaching the Bill of Rights and Government. So let's do the 9th Amendment. So now what has happened is you can see my political cartoon down here. And whenever I scroll over it, it's going to give me this little plus sign. If I click on the image with this plus sign, it brings up a text box. So if I was going to direct the students to label the gentleman on the left, okay, then within the text box, I would just put left, and then I'm done. Anywhere that you click is going to open a text box. So if you're doing maps, if you're diagramming organs or anything cool in science, or even in English, if you have a PDF of a sentence and you're doing diagramming sentences or sentence structure and you want them to label the noun or whatever else you're doing, there are a million uses for this, but literally everywhere you click, it's going to do a bubble. Now, if you want to get rid of it, just click on the X. It's really not going to hurt your feelings, okay? And again, it gives you the instructions and then a title for the image. Matching, if I click on add a matching task, okay, it's going to bring up title and instructions, and then I can add matching pairs. So once I add the matching pairs, so let's do purple, and I'm going to match that with, like if I was going to do a language thing here, I could do purple in English and then purple in a different language to have the kids match their colors. But I don't teach a foreign language, so I don't know any others. So I'm just going to put my favorite color, and then if you just hit the tab button, it'll open up another thing. I'm going to do 2 so you can kind of see what it looks like. Let's do 5, which is my favorite number. Okay, so we're going to click done there. Again, always saving to make sure that what you're doing is saved. We're going to click done here on this image so you can see what that looks like from the student perspective. All right, so now let's add a table because the table option is pretty cool. All of these are really awesome to use in the classroom, but you know, it's cool to do whatever you want with. So in the table, it gives you the instructions. So you would put your column and row headers here. And then once you create those, it'll give you the answers for the key because it allows them to either, again, type in the text or create a word bank. Sorting, draw, text, all of these are going to be things you can play with. I'm going to go because I'm kind of running out of time because there's just so many features and I want to do them all. Okay, so once you go to review, it's going to show you what the students will see on your worksheet. Okay, so you've got the test worksheet here, the open-ended question, the ability for them to type their answer. This, okay, I didn't type in any instructions, so they don't know what they're doing, but you can see it allows them to type directly on the image. And then for matching, I'm going to do 5. Purple is my favorite color. So they can literally drag and match just like shoelaces. And then this is the table we created. So I can click on the right answer and do that if I had words there. Okay. That just allows you to see what the kids see. So if you see like, oh man, I messed that up, you can always go back and edit and fix it. Okay. Now to assign this, if you have the paid version, it does integration with Google Classroom, which is amazing. Okay, or it gives you the link. So either way, you're going to click create assignment. It's going to ask you to name it. So we'll just name this one test. Okay, if I had Google Classroom, I would just click on Google Classroom. I don't have the paid version, so it's not actually going to work here. But I can share it directly to Classroom through that. Okay, now if I have the paid version and my class comes up, create assignment, then I can select a class. And the kids would join Wiser just like they would Google Classroom with a code, and then I would just click assign. Okay. The settings are open. You can shuffle the questions if you want the kids to kind of work maybe in groups or at a different pace, but it's up to you. You can share it directly through Edmodo. You can create this link, which for Google Classroom, sometimes I just send out the link or send this out. Okay, and then you can create another assignment. Now, this one isn't going to have any answers because I haven't assigned it to anyone to do, and there are no way that they can get the answers. But if students had handed in their work, it would appear here. So let's go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to pull up a worksheet that I tested with Miss Johnson, and I'm going to show you what her answers look like. So I'm not actually sharing student work, even though it'll say Samantha Johnson. That's a teacher here at South in the social studies department. Let's see, which one did I have her do? I've sent almost all of them to her so that I know that it works, which again is really great. But you will see when I click on answers a whole bunch of student names, but I'm not going to show you their actual work. Leave. Okay, so you saw there, I didn't make any changes, but it did prompt me to stay so that I could save my work. I didn't change anything, so I'm not really worried about it. But if you forgot to save before you did it, it would send you that little reminder. So you can see down here on the side, all of the students that have submitted this particular worksheet. You can search for a specific student, or you can sort them alphabetically by first name or alphabetically by last name. So you see I have 105 responses. I had all 4 of my economics classes do this, so it brought up quite a few. Samantha. Search. Why are we not? Oh, there. Oh, because she never turned it in. Okay, so this is what you will see when the students are working. So Miss Johnson never actually clicked hand in work. So until she clicks that, I won't be able to see her work. So let me find one that she did actually submit or that another teacher submitted. So you can see some of my kids never actually handed this in. Oh, there's the one I did. Okay. So I logged in and did one just to kind of see what it would look like. See, this is me with my answers. So here, this little circle, two things are going to happen. It's empty, meaning I haven't looked at it. I haven't graded it. Then I can go through and see I did a whole bunch of fill in the blank based on this video. So demand is correct, buy is correct, willingness to purchase, and ability. Okay. All of those things are correct. So you can, even if the kid misspells a word, or I think I typed all of these with capital letters because it is case sensitive. So it didn't automatically see like, oh yes, this is correct. Okay. Here's an example of a table. So the price of beef to rise in June. Yes, that's going to shift the demand. So you would be able to mark them as correct based on what they had typed in there. Okay. And then here at the bottom, I can type in feedback for the student. So you saw as I clicked on these, the number correct over here changed. Originally it was 1, now it's 10. So if you watch, as I click more, it increases their score. Okay. So if I want to tell them, please review determinants, okay, then I'm just going to click save. If I click save, now this little button turns green. So that means that I've entered the feedback, but I haven't shared it with the kids yet. Okay, if I click apply feedback, that's when it says, hey, your student can now see this. Okay, so if I logged in with a different account, I would be able to see up here at the top, a little box pops up and it'll say exactly what I left for the students. So that's how you can add this individual feedback directly to the stuff that you create. Okay, so that's pretty much it from start to finish. So you create it, you review it, you assign it. Once the kids turn it in, you see all their stuff down there on the side, and then you grade it. Okay, once you hit apply feedback, the students can go in and they'll see how many they got correct or incorrect. But again, because you're tying it to Skyward, they're going to see their grade in Skyward for that. Now, any of the ones that have open feedback, you're going to have to go in and grade. But if you create assignments that are multiple choice, fill in the blank, tables, charts, any of those things, and you provide a correct answer, Wiser will actually grade them for you. So for my business organizations, I did a chart, a table, if you will, that the students could pick from. So there were 24 options, and I didn't even have to grade this. Once I click on answers and it comes up with the kids' names again, all I did was take those scores and put them directly into Skyward. So it takes a little bit of extra time on the front end because it's self-scoring. You can do whatever you want, and it's a lot faster. So again, you'll see kids working, but you see I didn't apply any feedback here because I literally just took these at face value for their grades. It's up to you how you do it. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to our information screen. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I went a little bit over, but again, there's just so many cool features for this that I just love it. Okay, so we'll leave this up there. Anybody has any questions, fire away.